So today's our point is performance rating. So what do you mean by performance rating? Okay, so we are saying that the his performance is best, his performance is worst. Is it right? Many other times in class also we are saying that this student performance is best, this student performance is not up to the mark or on an average. How we are giving the rating? Okay, so for that performance rating, certain factors we are considering, certain points we are considering. Is it right? So in industry also, whenever we are required to give the rating of any worker or any uh, worker, we are using certain factors, and based on that factors we are making the judgment whether this particular work or this particular job, this particular task is completed or not. So what is performance rating? First definition: performance rating is the process of adjusting the actual pace of working of an operator by comparing it with the mental picture of the space of an operator working at normal speed. So what is this? So this is performance rating is just a comparison between 2 points. One point is that at actually how you are working, at what speed you are working, and that actual speed or actual work is compared with normal condition. So what we can say normal condition? So let's take the example of the particular any game. Is it right? It may be game of cricket or anything, any game you can take, where the people are playing that game with normal speed and normal abilities. You, me, we are also playing the cricket with normal ability. Then why we are not going to, if you are looking at ground, there are hundreds boys are there, those are playing the cricket, or 100 students are there, those are playing the cricket, but from them only we are selecting the best 11 for the final team. Why? Can anybody tell me the answer? Can anybody tell me the answer? Rakesh, are you playing cricket?
Yes, sir.
So what is your opinion about this? Those who are playing cricket, they are knowing. What is your opinion? Rakesh, Anil, anybody? Sambhaji, anybody? Sadashiv, Soham, ऋषिकेश देशमुख, मिसाळ, Shaneshwar Misal. Rakesh, what is your opinion about this?
Sir, I'm not get your points.
In a class or in a college or in our mohalla gully, many people are playing the cricket. But whenever we are coming to choose the team, final team, then we are just selecting best 11. Why? Why everybody is not included in that team?
By the performance, sir.
How you can judge the performance there? Yes, Shubham, you are correct, because of performance. How you are judging the performance?
By their runs and how many wickets they have taken and how many outs they have did.
Means what? Means what? What it means? Everybody is playing the cricket. let's say
Yes.
25 friends are there, or 25 boys are there on the ground, or 25 students are on the ground. They are playing the cricket, but whenever the time is come to choose 11 players, we are considering the performance. Means what? Then when that 25 people are playing the cricket, at what level they are playing the cricket? Shubham, can you tell me? Rakesh? At what level they are playing the cricket? Yes, Rakesh. Rakesh,
So very basic level.
basic level means what? Basic level means what? Here, your answer is correct, but you are not able to justify your answer. You are not able to give the reason behind that. Yes, basic level is correct. What meant by basic level? Basic level means we are that 25 boys, or they are playing the cricket with normal speed. Is it right? They are not at some elevated speed, or they are not means according to their capacity. They are not playing. They are just playing with normal speed. They are enjoying the things, and because of that, their performance is not up to the mark, or that up to the level, we can say. But whatever these 11 players are there, they are playing the cricket with some more concentration, we can say, with some more seriousness, we can say. Is it right? And they are giving their best performance in that particular practice, or we can call it as the normal play. So they are getting more runs, they are taking more wickets. If somebody is bowling, he will think that I have to just throw these 6 balls. Whether wicket, I should get the wicket or not, that is the matter. They are just laughing, they are enjoying. But the bowler who is having the brain of bowler, he's thinking I should put the Yorker here, I should put the bouncer here, I should put the outswinger. Like this, they are thinking, and they are taking the wicket. And that's why whenever there is a chance come to select the team, these 11 people are picked. Those who are playing the cricket with little bit seriousness, or little bit more concentration than other people. Is it right, Rakesh? That is we are calling
Yes,
performance.
sir.
That is we are calling performance. Is it right, Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is nothing but, that's why here it is written. By comparing it with the mental picture of the space of an operator working at normal speed. If you want to compare the performance of the particular operator at normal speed, how he work. Similarly, at normal condition, how you play the cricket. And when a responsibility is given to you, that you have to complete this task within this particular time, you have to do this, or if you are playing cricket, you have to go for 50, you have to take the 2 wickets, 3 wickets. If such a task is given to you, how you are playing the cricket? So whenever normal speed work is there, and that actual how that worker is feeling, how by without any instruction, how that worker is working, actual speed and normal speed, if these two speed are same, then we can say the performance is okay, no problem. But the normal speed and actual speed, if there is a difference, if actual speed is more and normal speed is at this level, then we can say performance is higher. If actual speed is lower and normal level is little bit higher, then we can say performance is down. That means he is not able to do the task at normal level also. So let's take the example of bowler. So what is we are expecting? At least 1 wicket he should get, or 1 or 2 wicket he should get. If he is not able to take a single wicket, then at least we are feeling that he should give at least per over 4 runs. But again, he is not doing that. If he is giving 8 run, 10 run per over, then we are saying this is not his normal, means his performance is below the average. Because that is what normally he has set the target for himself, that every 10 over spell he should take 2 wickets with average of 4 runs. So that is his normal, we can call it as a style or normal performance. When that particular bowler lift his performance and he take 5 wickets within the 20 runs, we are saying his performance is better. So that normal things we have decided already. Normal speed, normal, whenever we are playing any game, that normal speed of the game, normal working of the working style in the organization, anywhere we are decided that this is the normal, and if anything above that normal is comes, that is called outperformance or better performance, and below that normal it comes, we are calling it is the lower performance. Let's take the example, another, let's take a common student. The common student is getting nearly 60-70% mark from 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th standard. And suddenly after 12th, he is getting the marks of 90-95%. So his average rating or average normal, we can call it as a normal performance was 60-70%. But as he reached to the 90-95%, we are saying his performance was increased. And suddenly, because of certain reasons, if instead of getting 60-70% mark, if the students get lower marks, 50-55%, we are saying that the particular performance is down. So most of the time, performance is, we are comparing the things with each other. It is not like that you are getting 80% marks, means your performance is good, or you are getting 80% marks means your performance is normal or your performance is down. To that particular line, to that particular thing, something is required to be there, something base is required to be there for comparing. If there is no comparison, then there is no performance. Is it right? If there is no comparison, there is no performance. So performance is decided always by comparing only. Is it right? So that particular point we have to think. Then to compare, we have to create something as a base. Okay, we have to create something as a normal. Is it right? If one student get 80%, can we say that the performance of this student is far better? Rakesh, can we say that the performance of this student is good if he is getting 80%? Anyone? Can we say that if student get 80%, his performance is better? Rakesh, Shubham, Rishikesh, anybody, please reply fast. Rakesh, are you there in meeting or you left?
So we
Okay,
can
what
say
is
it's
it?
good, sir.
Huh?
Good, sir.
How you can say good? Let's say that particular students get 90% in previous exam and next exam is getting 80%, then it is good.
No, sir. No, sir.
Why?
Sir, his performance.
Please unmute and tell. His performance,
Getting down, sir.
and if in previous exam he is getting 60% and today he is getting 80%,
Yes, sir. It's good, sir.
and if in previous exam he is getting 78% and now 80%,
Good, sir.
good means I have maintained.
Yes, sir.
So That means if I make the statement, a single statement, that student is getting 80% mark, we cannot judge the performance. To judge that 80%, I required something as a base. To judge that 80%, if previous exam I consider, and previous exam if the student is getting 90%, then according to 90%, 80% is lower performance. But if previous exam, if that student is getting 60% mark, then today's 80% mark is good performance. If last exam he is getting 78, 79%, and today he is getting 80%, 1 and 2% increment is not, we can say, yeah, he is maintained. That means to understand today's performance, to understand today's work, we have to be compare it with somebody else that is the same work in the past. Then performance rating. Performance rating is given on the following points. Speed rating. Then Westinghouse method of rating, that is skill, efforts, consistency, conditions. Is it right? Skill, efforts, consistency, conditions. Let's say I will, if you are agree, just give me the answers of some questions. There are two persons, let's say A and B. And I told you that A has completed 20-kilometer walking and B has completed 30-kilometer walking. Whose performance is best? Anyone? Anyone?
B, sir.
B. Why? He has completed 30-kilometer walking. Is it right? Then I will ask you another question. B has completed his walking on the clear ground. That means on the road, clear road. But A has completed his walking in jungle. Whose performance is better? Whose performance is better in that case? Whose performance is better? A.
If time, yes, sir. If time is constant, then A's performance is better.
No, time is not there. We are not talking about time. We are just talking about distance. A has completed 20-kilometer, B has completed 30. If you are knowing this much thing, you are saying B's performance is better. But when you got next information that B has completed his performance on plain road and A has completed his performance in jungle like this way, so you are telling that A's performance is better. Then if I provide you next information that A is having 2 legs but B is having only 1 leg, then whose performance is better? B. Why? He is having 1 leg, still he has completed 30 kilometers more, 10 kilometers more. If I said that A's age is 95 and B's age is 30, whose performance is better? A person's age is 95 and B person's age is 30. So here your answer may be different. Means what I want to say here that when I provide you the information, when I ask the different questions to same work, what same work? That A has completed 20 kilometer of walking, B has completed 30 kilometer of walking. This is the, we are saying, conclusion. But to this conclusion, to reach this conclusion, if I look at the backside, skill, effort, consistency, conditions, in which condition they have completed this task, then every time my performance rating, my opinion is going to change. When I ask you, A completed 20 kilometer, B completed 30 kilometer, your answer was B. But when I said A is completed on the jungle side track and B has completed on roadside track, your answer was shifted to A. When I said third question that A is having 2 legs, etc., fit body person, and B is having only one leg and one leg is broken, he's working, walking on the walking through wheelchair, etc. You are saying B's performance is better. If I said that A's age is 95 and B's age is 30, then again you will shift to A. At 95 age, he is completed 20 kilometer walking in jungle. So whenever that extra information we are getting, we are changing our performance rating. We are changing our performance rating. Is it correct, Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So what I want to say that whenever we are getting different information about the different task, our performance rating, our point of view is going to be changed. So here that all points are coming. That is Westinghouse method of rating, that skill. First point is skill, efforts. So age is 95, he is having two legs, one leg, consistency, conditions, plain road, then the particular jungle road, etc. So when such information is come into the picture, then our performance may get changed. Okay, synthetic rating. Sometimes we require to combine all these parts. Objective rating. So what is the target? What is the target and whether he has achieved or not? Based on that, we are giving some performance rating. So yesterday we have taken an example. If per month I have decided to go for 500 jobs, if 500 jobs I have completed per month, then my performance is good. If it is not completed if I completed 499 also, my performance is not up to the mark, because still it is not 500. If I completed 520, 550 jobs, my objective is achieved. What is the target? Target is 500 jobs. I have achieved that target and I have given more than that. So that objective oriented rating may be there. Calculate representative time for each element and convert observed time into normal time. So these are the we can call it as the points where we should consider while giving the performance, that performance rating. So it is not like that if let's say one worker is there, that one worker may get automatic machine. Just we have to put the program like CNC machine. You have to put the new job and you just play the program. If that worker completed 500 jobs in a month, and all of you are knowing two machines in our workshop, one is old lathe machine and one is CNC. Any doubt in this? All of you are knowing these two machines, CNC machine and regular lathe machine. Okay. So my point is that if one person has completed 500 jobs on CNC machine and another person has completed 400 jobs on lathe machine, whose performance is better? CNC operator performance is better or regular lathe machine performance is better? Can anybody? Rishikesh, Rakesh, lathe performance. So Gaurav has given the answer lathe performance. It is correct, Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because we are considering that on CNC, once program is written, just our job is that we have to just place the new job and run the same program. Is it right? But on lathe machine, every time we have to do the particular operation with our hand. So at the end of the month, if I say that the worker who has completed 400 jobs, his performance was less, and the worker who has completed 500 jobs, his performance is better. Is my statement is correct? Is my statement is correct? If I want to say that I will give the more money to the CNC operator and less money to the lathe operator, is it correct way of judgment, performance rating, extra bonus we can say? Though the the worker who has completed 500 jobs, to him I will just promote like anything because he has achieved target, and 400 jobs that person has not achieved the target. If I made such statement, it is correct. Shubham, how you are, why your answer is yes? Can you justify? Thirty-three, Shubham. Shubham, please unmute. Please reply faster.
In CNC machine, less efforts.
Yeah. Then how you can say yes if my statement is correct? So CNC operator has taking less efforts to complete that 500 job. The lathe worker has taken more efforts to complete that 400 jobs. So there I should understand the skill, efforts, condition. Okay. Just blindly, if I say this is the good performance, this is the bad performance, it is not the correct way of judgment of the performance. So by considering this, all these things, that means speed, synthetic, what is the target oriented objective rating, what is the skill, what is the effort, what is the consistency, then we can decide the performance rating. Then during this performance rating, we have to focus on allowances also. So yesterday we have just discussed about this allowances part. Okay, so what is these allowances are there? So what is these allowances are there? So yesterday we have talked, normal time does not contain any allowance for the worker. So yesterday we have taken example, 20-minute one job, 1 hour 3 jobs, 8 hours 24 jobs directly. And then I asked you where is the allowances in this? You are saying no, there is no allowances. So what is these allowances are there? How it can be added? Okay, so normal time, that 8-hour shift, if we consider, it does not having any allowances in that. Even under the best working method situation, the job will still demand the expenditure of human effort, and some allowances must therefore be made for recovery from fatigue and for relaxation. So if you are continuously working on a machine for 8 hours, then we must require to give some relaxation allowance, some fatigue allowance. What is that fatigue allowance? When that fatigue is created, when we are doing repetitive work, at that time that fatigue may create it. And to overcome that particular fatigue, we have to give some relaxation allowance. Okay, or we have to give some fatigue allowance. Okay, then how many types of allowances are there? There are different types of allowances are there in the industry. First one is the relaxation allowance. What is that relaxation allowance? Relaxation allowance, it include personal and fatigue. So personal relaxation and fatigue relaxation. When you are doing same work for more time or longer time, you may get fatigue. To release that stress, to release from that fatigue, we are giving the particular relaxation allowance. Then contingency allowance. So some emergencies there. Is it right? Many times we are working on the machine and suddenly you require to go to the bathroom or toilet, etc. So that particular parts we are not measuring. We are not saying that after 2 hours only you can go. It is not like that. Sometimes some need is there, contingency allowance. So that is added. Interference allowance. Sometimes some worker may come to you, sometimes machine is not working properly, sometimes certain different things may happen, that interference may happen. Okay, so that is called interference allowance. And policy allowance. So company has decided to give the, after every 2 hours 15-minute break should be there for working. So that we can call it as a policy allowance. So all these particular points we should consider at the time of time study. Okay. So what is these allowances are there in detail we will learn. So relaxation allowance allow the worker to recover from fatigue. So in the particular working style, because of the repetitive work, the worker may under fatigue. Okay. So most of the time psychological, is it right, or physiological? Psychological or physiological means mentally and physically we are under stress, so we have to take certain rest to refresh our mind, to refresh our body. So according to the human body, whatever the night 8 hours sleep we are taking, that is the, we can call it as the best relaxation for us. But still in working condition in industry there is not like that good environment, AC, no dust, etc. Such environment are not there. So every time different noises are coming on your ears, and dusty environment may be there. You may feel some hot, is it right? You are required to do the work, so sweating may be there. Then you can call it as a dehydration may be there. To recover from all these things, working fatigue may be there. Okay. To recover from this all social, psychological and physiological of carrying out specific work under specific condition. So you are doing that particular work under that hot condition or specific condition, and to allow the attention of personal needs. The amount of allowances will be depend on the nature of the job. So you have to focus on your what your body says, whether your body is ready to work further or not. Is it right? So based on that, we are giving this allowance. So there are fixed allowance, personal need allowance, 5% for men, 7% for women. So we are talking about in percentage. 5% for men and 7% for women means what? If you are working for 1 hour, that's 60 minutes, then 5% of that 60 minutes. That means nearly 3 minutes you will get the relaxation allowance. After 1 hour working, you will get 3 minute relaxation. So like this particular things are measured, is it right? And these are given to the worker. So continuously if worker is working for let's say 3 hours, then definitely after 3 hours working, he will get the allowance of up to 10 minutes. So he can rest himself, his body, mental, physical, he can rest for 10 minutes. And that is not that much big. That is not that much big. Is it right? So 10 minutes allowance we can provide. That means 5% for men and 7% for women. Personal need allowance. Allowance for basic fatigue. To compensate for energy expenditure during working, a common figure considered as allowance is 4% of the basic time. So 4% you will get the allowance as a basic time. 4% of the basic time is the fatigue allowance. So if you just go for addition, 5 plus 4, 9% you will get here. So that means if you are working for 1 hour, after 1 hour working, you will get at least 5 to 6 minutes for relaxation purpose. Is it right? 5 to 6 minutes for relaxation purpose. So this is the two allowances which comes under relaxation: personal need allowance and allowance for fatigue. Okay. Then next one is the contingency allowance, a small allowance of time to meet the legitimate and expected item of the work or delays, the precise measurement of which is uneconomical because of their infrequent or irregular occurrence. So this is the contingency allowance is not every time. Is it right? So small unavoidable delay as well as occasional minor extra work. So let's say you are going to the particular, I can say to the your storage, you are required to take the vernier, but that vernier is not working, and whatever that vernier screw etc is there to tighten that screw or to set that particular thing, you require extra 2-3 minutes there. So that 2-3 minutes you cannot say that every time it will be required. Is it right? So these are the occasionally errors. Sometimes what happens, sometimes we are moving from one place to another place in industry, and we are striking to some particular thing while talking, or something is fall on our leg etc. Some small accident may take place and you're required to go to the dressing, and you're required, so that is not the we can call it as a occasional error, that means not regular error. That is certainly that occasionally unavoidable that particular things are happen. Many times you are moving the particular workpiece on the trolley, and suddenly the wheels of trolleys get packed, they are not moving forward, so you're required to find out the oil bottle and you are required to go for oiling, and within that particular process 5 minutes 2 minutes late will be there. So to reach the job from one machine to next machine, there may be late of 2 minutes 3 minutes. So you cannot say that this is the regular allowance. Okay, this is the unavoidable, this is the occasional. Certain worker may be there, he want to go to the immediate to the bathroom or toilet, so that is not regular. Is because of certain things, such things may be happen, and this is happening in our day-to-day life. Certain medical reasons may come, certain small accident may come. Is it right? So this is the irregular allowance, this particular contingency allowance. It may happen due to anything, small unavoidable delay as well as occasionally minor extra work. You are thinking you are doing this work, but that is not doing properly, some occasionally extra work is coming, so because of that this particular allowance is provided. It is nearly contingency allowance should be not exceeded 5%. So whatever this standard contingency allowance is there, it should be of 5% only. It should not be more than 5%. So this is the contingency allowance. It should not be exceed 5%. Okay. This is the unavoidable delay or occasionally because of some delay, extra work, minor work. This is required to be added. But at the time of calculation, we should consider it. Then interference allowance. Work content of job is to compensate the operator for the unavoidable loss of production due to simultaneous stoppage of 2 or more machines being operated by him. Many times in industry, what happens? One worker may handling 2 machines, put the job on one machine, start the program, go to the next machine, put the job on that machine, start the program, then come to the work first machine. So like these things are there. So interference may happen. Both machines may stop or one machine may stop. Applicable for machine and process control jobs. Sometimes machine is working, suddenly some breakdown may happen. Is it right? Machine is not working properly. So like these things may be happen. Interference allowance varies in proportion to the number of machines assigned to the operator. If one operator having only one machine, then that contingency allowance may be less. If 2-3 machines are given to that operator, sorry, not contingency, this interference allowance. So if one machine is given to one operator, this interference allowance is less. But if 2-3 machines are given to that operator, then this particular interference allowance may be more. Okay, so it is based on the number of machines or portions of the machine. Many times one operator may be working on various factors. not various factors, various points of the different machines. So based on that, this particular interference allowance is there. Then policy allowance, not the genuine part of the time study. Is it right? So this is not the part of the time study, but still we have to give it to line up the standard times with the requirement of wage arrangement between employers and the trade unions. This is the very important point here, that trade unions, worker trade unions are there, and the owners or employers are there. So this is the, we can call that the arrangement, wage arrangement. This is the mutual understanding that after this much time you should give this much particular allowance, this much relaxation point. So this is the, we can call it as the arrangement, agreement between these 2 points. A policy allowance is an increment, is an increment other than bonus increment applied to the standard time. Okay, or to the some constituent part of it. For example, work content. First, we will understand this all these lines, and then we will go for policy allowance is an increment other than bonus increment applied to standard time to provide a satisfactory level of earning for specified level of performance under expectational circumstances. Policy allowance are sometimes made as a imperfect functioning of the division or part of the plan. So why this particular policy allowance is given? To provide a satisfactory level of earning of a specific for a specified level of performance. So most of the time this policy is there, like I have told you, you have to do 500 jobs, then bonus or increment will be there. So like this, certain allowances are given. Similarly, you have to complete this 20 jobs. You complete this 20 jobs, then half an hour break will be given to you extra. So like these things are there in industry. Anyhow, industry want to increase the productivity, and this is not the genuine part. So this particular may differ with your industry or some worker or some situation may different. Then this particular policy allowance may be little bit different. It will not be remain same. Is it right? It will not remain same. It may be different. So we have to consider that particular point. Then if you look at to this particular diagram, various allowances to build the standard time. How the standard time is calculated in industry? How the standard time is calculated in industry? Personal allowance, contingency allowance, variable fatigue allowance. All this comes to, or this contingency and fatigue allowance come to fatigue allowance. Then personal allowance, when it is added, it becomes a relaxation allowance. Relaxation allowance is added to total allowance. Contingency allowance is added to total allowance. Policy allowance is applicable, it is added to total allowance. Then normal time, total allowance. So by this calculation, we will get the standard time here. Okay, we will get the standard time. So there are certain formulas are there to how we should make this calculation. What is this formula? Work sampling. Okay, so here are certain standard time calculations are there. So performance rating of normal time divided by observed time into 100. Normal time or basic time. Performance rating into observed time divided by 100. So based on this, some examples are there, problems are there, standard time calculation. So we will take this latter. Okay. So first we'll, all of you, I think you have understood this allowances. Any doubt in this allowances part or allowances concept? What is this allowances and what not? Any doubt? Any reply? Rakesh, Shubham, any doubt? Rakesh, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Shaneshwar, any doubt? Sadashiv, any doubt?
No, sir. No doubt.
Nikita?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay. So this is called the allowances. So this allowance is not only in the particular time sector, but this is also in the, we can call it as a salary sectors are also there. Okay. So that cost and cost control, if that particular point is there, we will discuss that also. Okay. So these allowances we are talking about in time only. We are just talking about time management, time study. So if normal time of working is 8 hours, but because of these allowances, your standard time of working is become 7 hours 30 minutes or 7 hours only. So that 1 hour allowance is given. Is it right? And that a 1 hour allowance may include your food, tea, lunch, and then relaxation. Everything will be come into that 1 hour. That means if a worker is entering into the industry, he should work continuously at least for 7 hours. Though his shift was for 8 hours, he should work at least continuously for 7 hours. That is expected. That is expected in industry. And based on that, the performance is decided, performance rating already we have discussed, skill, then your other factors also considered there. And if you work beyond that, then you will get more promotions, etc. So like this, the things are already set into the industry. When we entered into the industry, we feel this is not correct, this is not correct. Why? How we can work continuously 7 hours? We are not required to work continuously 7 hours. We're required to work at least for 2-3 hours. Then we will get the break. So their break timings are also decided. Like in our college, 2 hours lecture or 2 hour practical, then break will be there. So like this in industry, everything is set for that 8 hours and we have to work there. Then after this, we will go to the next, that is work sampling or sampling activity. What is meant by work sampling? Okay. So first we will look at the definition. Definition is a technique in which statistically competent number of instantaneous observations are taken over a period of time of a group of machines, processes, or workers. So which observations we are taking? We are statistically competent number of instantaneous observations are taken. Means just 100 workers are working and manager is taking a round. He is not talking to each and every worker. He is not like checking each and every machine is properly working or not. He just taking the round. And while taking the round, he just observing whether that particular machine is working properly, whether any difficulty is there for this particular person, whether this worker is working properly or not. Over a period. So after every 2 hours or after every 4 hours, that particular manager is taking round for group of machine, processes, workers. You can find this particular point work sampling mostly in the hospitals. Many times hospital junior doctors are giving the medicines, etc. They are near to the patient and main doctor is taking round every after 2 hours, 3 hours. Is it right? Have you experienced this particular point? Any reply? Have you experienced this particular point in hospitals? Anybody? Shubham? Rakesh? Have you experienced this particular point? Reply me fast. Have you experienced this particular point? Shubham, Rakesh? Yeah. So this is the particular point that we are thinking, we are doing in industry also. Okay, each observation recorded for a particular activity or delay. So while he is taking the round, he is checking whether any delay is there or any process is there or any particular activity is changing, and he is taking that observations into in his account. Okay, and particular activity or delay is the measure of the percentage of time observed by the occurrence. So how much percent of time is going to be waste? Because industries, they are running on the time. They are, because their target was set, standard time, normal time, daily production, everything, every target was set. So they are just checking on the percentage of time, delay in the percentage of time. Because of this, what next delay will be there? If let's say assembly line is there, you are knowing the assembly line, is it right? Let's say one line is there, so I will draw this one line. So here, let's say automobile sector is there, here chassis is there, on assembly line chassis is there. At this particular station, we have to fit some wheels. Let's say here we have to fit the wheels. On next station, we require to fit the steering. Is it right? And next particular station, we require to, let's say, fit the seats in this particular body. Already wheels and steering is fit. Next particular position, we require to place the dashboard. So this assembly, and I am giving example, maybe the operation may be wrong, maybe here and there, but let's consider that these 2 points, these 2 working stations are working properly. But where the seat arrangement is there, at this particular position, if delay is there, what will happen? Can anybody answer me? At this particular position where seats are placed, at that particular position, delays happen. What will happen? Anyone? Sadashiv, Rakesh, Shaneshwar, Nikita, what will happen to this particular position? Whenever that seats are there, their delay is there. Anybody, please give me fast answers.
So the entire assembly will get stuck.
Yeah, entire assembly line will get stuck. That means where the steering is fixed, where these wheels are placed, they will put wheels to next assembly, next body, and they will forward it. They will forward it. But here entire assembly line will stuck here only. Is it right? So that particular, and because of that particular delay, how much time is required? How much time delay will be there? That we have to understand. That we have to understand, that we have to calculate. And if there is no major problem is there, immediately the problem is solved and assembly line will work forward. That means daily production will not be get hampered. So this type of observations are nothing but work sampling or sampling activities. This type of work is required. So where these applications are there? Activity and delay sampling. Why the delay happens? What activities get stopped? To understand that, this particular work sampling is performed or it is used. Then performance sampling. Which station is not doing, which station, working station, or which process is not working properly, his performance is not correct, etc. Work measurement, that is we are studying, time study, where the delays happens, etc. So this is called the work sampling or sampling activity. Work sampling procedure. How this work sampling is carried out? Work sampling is carried out in following, by considering following points. Formulate the objective of study. Involve person personnel. That means that particular process, operator, manager. Why we are doing this work sampling? We have to set the target. We have to set the objective to reduce the time, to increase the production, to make the easy work. Sometimes work may be difficult, isn't it? To make that work a little bit easier from worker point of view, etc., we are doing this work sampling. Fix up the work element and state the clearly elements. Sometimes whatever the work is there, it is not fixed. Okay, so fix that work and clear element, what we should do, what element we should remove, what element we should add to understand that particular part. Decide the time frame of the work sampling. What will the time frame of that work sampling? How much time this particular work should be completed? Is it right? So major point is the time frame. Major point is the time frame. Determine desired accuracy and confidence level of the final result. Many a times it is found that we are working with low confidence. We are not having that much confidence. Yes, this work can be done. This work can be easily done. Is it right? Okay. To increase the confidence, increase the accuracy for that particular work. So the desired accuracy is increased and confidence level is also increased because of correct work sampling, correct your we can call it as the finding out the solutions to that particular problem. Make pilot study to preliminary estimate of percentage or delay to be measured. So sometimes what delay is measured, to that you are required to go for preliminary estimate or preliminary study or preliminary solution. Preliminary solution doesn't mean that it is the exact solution. It is the, we can call it as the solution, but we are just testing it. Initially we will do this and we will check the delay. Is it right? Pilot, initial solution. If this is not working, we'll go for another solution. If this is working, we will continue with this. So this is called preliminary solution. Design actual study. So what is the actual problem is there, and with this actual study, make observation according to plan, analyze and summarize the data. So with actual study, what you are required to do, you have to require to proper observation is required. To plan, analyze what observations are there, what problems are there, and whatever data you have collected, you have to summarize it. You have to find the solution, check the accuracy and precision of data, and prepare the report and state the conclusion. So after this analysis, check it for accuracy, precision. Because of this particular problem may happen. So your report may be like this. If you are saying because of this problem may be there, it not be like that. You have to confirm, you have to show some confidence, you have to show some confirm statement. Because of this only this problem is happen. Okay, so when this will be happen, this will be the possible when you make the analysis in correct way. Okay, and your analysis and your accuracy, precision, whatever your decisions are there, these are correct or proper, then and then this will be happen. Then last point is next point is predetermined motion time study, PMTS or PTS. So in this MTM, method time measurement, 1948, that developed in 1948, that particular point is there. So that particular point we are considering method time measurement. Factors to be considered while using PMTS, predetermined motion time study. Okay, so how this particular time study is used, what is the advantages? Short cycle time, timed accurately. Rating most difficult part of the time study not required. Result or result obtained are consistent. Reasonable estimate of the work content can be obtained before task is actually carried out. So how this particular PMTS is used? Predetermined motion time study. Use time measurement unit. What is the time measurement unit? TMU instead of second. So instead of seconds, we are using TMU. What is meant by TMU? TMU is equal to 0.00001 hours or 0.036 seconds or 1 TMU is equal to 0.0006 minutes. So whatever the calculation part is there, it should be done in the TMU. What is meant by TMU? That is the time measurement unit. 1 TMU is nothing but 0.036 seconds. Okay, so this much TMU, when you consider your predetermined motion study or predetermined time study, can be possible or it can be done very well. How? So this is the particular time, standard time. Okay, what the standard time is there? Standard time is the time allowed to an operator to carry out the specific task under specific condition and defined level of performance. Okay, so here observed time. So this is the we can call it as the how this particular addition or subtraction is there. So you can understand with the help of this particular chapter or this particular point. Observed time, if performed at a space greater than standard space. Okay, this is the observed time. If performed at a space greater than standard space. So whatever the standard space is there, if your observed time is greater than standard space, so this is called observed time. In this observed time, if you add a rating factor, that skill, consistency, other points, then it becomes basic time. Up to this point, it is become basic time. In this, if you add relaxation allowance and contingency allowance, that work allowance, so only work allowance I am talking, then it becomes work content. And in this work, if you add unavoidable delays, it becomes standard time. How the standard time for simple manual job is made up? How this particular standard time is decided? Actual observed time plus performance rating, it gives me basic time. In this basic time, if I add a relaxation allowance and work allowance, that contingency allowance, it becomes work content. And in that, if I add unavoidable delays, because unavoidable delays may be 0, may be greater. If we add this unavoidable delays in the standard time, then it in work content, it becomes the standard time. So this is the simple picture. It shows you how that particular standard time is there or how the standard time is used. It is how it is calculated. Okay, so observed time plus rating factor plus relaxation allowance plus work allowance plus unavoidable delay. By adding all these things, the standard time is defined or standard time is considered. Then based on this standard time, there are certain examples. So simple examples are there. So performance rating. These are the important formula. What is the performance rating? Performance rating is equal to normal time divided by observed time into 100. Normal time or basic time, how it will be calculated? This observed time you can shift to this side. Performance rating into observed time divided by 100. Then standard time, normal or basic time plus allowances. So here we can say normal or basic time plus allowances. So relaxation allowance and contingency allowance. If you add into the basic time, standard time will be fine, or it can be prepared, or it can be calculated. Okay. So based on this, small examples will be like this. An operation consists of 6 elements whose observed time and performance rating are given below. So 6 elements are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 elements are there, and this is their observed time and performance rating is here. Assuming personal allowance 10% and contingency allowance 5% of basic time, calculate standard time. So calculate the standard time for each an element and total standard time. Okay, so how to solve such small examples? So this is the given data, element, observed time, performance rating. We have to calculate normal time or basic time. Okay, how to calculate normal time? Observed time into performance rating divided by 100. This formula we are knowing. Normal time is equal to observed time into performance rating divided by 100. So this 2 multiplication divided by 100. So 2 into 80 divided by 100. Sorry, here 0 is written. Here 100. So what will be the your answer? Your answer will be 1.6 minutes for first element. Similarly for second element, 3.2 into 85 divided by 100, 2.72 is the normal time. So when you calculate, any doubt is there? Hello, any doubt is there? Anybody, any doubt is there? Okay, so for first element, this is the normal time. For second element, this is the normal time. For third element, this is the normal time. Fourth element, fifth element. And when you add, make the addition of this, all the normal time, you will get the total normal time. And that will be the 15.44 minutes. So total normal time or basic time is 15.44. Here, what is asked? An operation consists of 6 elements whose observed time and performance rating are given. So if you look at to this diagram, observed time is given to us. This observed time is given to us. Performance rating is given to us. A rating factor, not we are talking. Performance rating is given to us, and we are just required to calculate basic time. This. Okay. So basic time we have calculated. Basic time is coming as 15.44. But we have to calculate the standard time. How to calculate? In this we have to require to add relaxation allowance, work allowance, and unavoidable delays. That is yet we have not added. So we have just calculated basic time 15.44 minutes. In this we require to add allowance. Personal allowance is given 10%. And contingency allowance is given 5%. Is it right? So here personal allowance 10%, 15.44 into 10 divided by 100, 10%. It coming as a 1.544 minutes. Contingency allowance. To whom contingency allowance? To this basic time. The 5% is the contingency allowance. 15.44 into 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0.772 minutes. Then standard time. What is the standard time formula? Normal or basic time plus allowances. Normal or basic time plus allowances. 15.44 plus 1.544 plus 0.772. Addition of these all these particular things, and standard time coming is as 17.756 minutes. So whatever this example is given to us, an operation consists of 6 elements whose observed time and performance rating are given in table, assuming for personal allowance as 10% and contingency allowance as 5% of basic time, calculate standard time per piece. That means to do this particular job, 6 operations are required. Okay, in little bit softer manner, I will say you 6 operations are required or 6 elements are required to complete this particular job. For that, to each and every element, this is the observed time. It may be in minutes, it may be in seconds, it may be in hours. But here we are just considering in minutes, let's say. That means to perform first operation, 2 minutes is required. And performance rating, we are considering 80%. So 80%, we are not, performance rating should not be more than 100. Is it right? So 80%. Then for second observed time, performance rating is 85, time required is 3.2 minutes. Third element, 2.8 minutes is required, 95 is the performance rating. 4.2 is the observed time, 90 is the performance rating. 5.2 is the required time, 90 is the performance rating. In that, additionally, we should go for 10% personal allowance and contingency allowance 5%. Then, to complete this 6 operation, what will be the standard time? To complete these 6 or 5 operations, 5 elements, what will be the standard time that we have to calculate? For that, for each element, what will be the normal time that we have or basic time that we have calculated? How we are having that formula? Normal time is equal to observed time into performance rating divided by 100. By considering this particular formula, we have calculated normal time for each element or each operation: 1.6, 2.72, 2.66, 3.78, 4.68. After addition of this, we will get total normal time, that is 15.44 minutes. Total normal time or total basic time we are getting. So this is our total basic time. To this basic time, we require to add personal allowance. Personal allowance, how to calculate 10%? 10% to 15.44. Multiply by 10 divided by 100. So 1.544. And contingency allowance 5% to whole, that is 15.44. Then this is coming as multiply by 5 divided by 100. This is coming as 0.772 minutes. Then standard time, final standard time or total standard time, normal or basic time plus allowances. Normal or basic time 15.44 plus allowances 1.544 plus 0.772, and this summation gives me the total time, total standard time as 17.756 minutes. That means to complete that operation, whatever that operation is there, that means 6 elements, whatever that 6 operations are there, to complete that 6 operations, to complete that particular piece, one job, 17.75 minutes, nearly we can say 18 minutes is required. So this is the standard time. If any worker can take less than 18 minutes, its speed is good. If any worker take more than 18 time, his speed is less. Is it understood? Any doubt?